You're listening to The Tales We Tell, a podcast about spooky stories, unsolved mysteries, and local lore. I'm your host, Hannah Parch.
And I'm Jenna.
Welcome back!
Hey! Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for coming to record, because I don't have a lot of options right now.
Fair. But I'm one of your best options.
This is true. What are we drinking today?
Well, I am trying to be somewhat healthy. So I chose vodka, which sounds counterintuitive, but hey, low carb.
This is true.
Low sugar.
And I was planning on forcing you to drink the red wine with me because I need to deplete some of the pouch inside this box because I'm taking the pouch to a wedding tomorrow in my purse. And I don't want to bring like a full.
So why don't you just pour some into like a container and save it for later?
Because that would be too smart. I don't know.
A water bottle that seals and yeah.
I'll probably just drink more of it tonight.
Yeah.
But Jared poured me like a whole fucking bottle here.
A double glass. He wants you to get drunk tonight. And it is a good box.
It's a good box.
The Boda box, the Pinot Noir.
He's going to feed me tacos after this, though, so...
And I brought you sliders.
And sliders. So
that sounds like a good night.
It's good for me because it's, like, a night where I'm going to get really full and a little drunk and, like, get sleepy. It's not a good night for Jarek if his plan
But you can go get a good night's sleep because tomorrow you guys have a wedding to go to.
That's true. Yeah, I heard a rumor literally yesterday that it's going to be a dry wedding. Which I didn't think it was. No wonder
you're bringing the
yeah,
wine.
I didn't
know why you're bringing wine to a wedding, but I was like, okay. I would be doing the exact same thing.
I thought, so it's at the same venue where Jarek and I got married. Oh. So I'm excited. And like the couple, when they first booked it, the bride had asked me about like if we had alcohol there, did we need a liquor license or whatever? And I said, no, we just had beer and wine. You know, as long as it's just that, it's fine. So I assumed there was going to be alcohol.
Yeah.
But that was like several months ago. And then today, a coworker of mine who is good friends with the bride, was like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a dry wedding. So
I would be bringing alcohol too.
Just in case, I'm going to have a bag of wine in my purse.
Well, we can tell everyone the other reason why I'm not drinking the wine with you.
Which is what?
That I have 2 birthday parties
that's right.
tonight.
I was like, why? Because you wanted vodka?
No, I have 2 birthday parties to go to after this. I'm
busy.
like, so if I drink like vodka and like low sugar, I won't get hungover tomorrow. I'll be able to go.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got to go to Pirates Cove for a dinner.
I don't
birthday.
even know where that is.
Right beside Blackbeard's downtown.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
See,
it's the oyster bar.
Okay. I'm like, I hear Blackbeard's, or I hear Pirates Cove, and I'm like...
It's the same thing. It's the one with the fish tank as the bar top.
Oh, I've never been in there.
Oh, we can go.
Okay.
I mean, it's nothing to write home about. I mean, it's oysters. I can't eat them, so I don't eat there. I just go and drink.
Just go for the drinks.
Because it's her birthday, that's where she picked. And then we're going to the garage after. And they have karaoke, and it's someone's birthday, so...
And if you are drunk enough, you'll sing karaoke.
It's very true.
Video evidence of this.
It's very true.
The night that you were drunk and I was not. And I was like, not feeling it.
I'm pretty sure I was considering rapping.
What are you gonna rap to?
I don't know yet. I'm here for suggestions. And actually, if the audience wants to send suggestions for my future karaoke nights, I'm always looking for rap.
Was Vanilla... I say this like he's dead. Is Vanilla Ice Canadian?
I don't think so.
What about...
I really could do Truth Hurts, though.
What?
Or I'm really liking that song, Big Energy.
Who sings that?
Lado or something. It just came out.
Oh, never
Big
heard
Bitch
of it.
Energy. That's what they keep saying.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Ooh, can you actually just sing WAP?
Got that wet ass. Sorry, Jarek's going to have to bleep a bunch this time.
I mean, listen, last time we talked about clit wine, we had to talk about vaginas in some way because they don't come up in the story, so...
We have to make it more entertaining for ourselves.
I mean, that's what we're here for.
Exactly.
Did you find out if vanilla... Were you Googling
it? That's exactly what I was doing, and I forgot.
There's another...
Because we started talking about vaginas.
There's a vanilla-esque rapper. One of them is Canadian, and he sang... Man.
Nope, he's an American rapper.
Okay, who am I thinking of?
I don't know. I'm going to
Hold
Google rappers that are Canadian.
I'm going to Google white rapper like Vanilla Ice.
Eminem. I mean, Drake is Canadian.
That's true, but that's not who I was thinking of.
That's what I was going to say. And Classified is Canadian.
Snow. His name is Snow.
I've never even heard
of
him.
Hold on. I was like, he's got a Canadian name.
Well, that makes sense.
I'm so stupid. I just Googled the word snow.
Expecting him to show up. No, sorry, Hannah. The weather is going to show up. You got to be a little more specific.
My dumb internet's like...
I don't think that was your dumb internet.
I mean, yeah. my browser history is... Okay, let's see. Informer. That's the song he sang. Okay, you should look that up, learn it, and sing that.
What's it called?
It's called Informer.
Do you know a portion of it?
I can play you a portion of it.
Okay.
Let me get into some announcements real quick.
Sounds good.
The first two are thank yous. First one is to Kara, who crocheted these cute little crows.
They are adorable.
I have named mine Carl. Like Carl.
Carl.
I don't know what Katie named hers, but...
We will find out and let you know on the next podcast.
And look, she put the little Tales We Tell initials on the tail.
That's so cute. Did you take a picture of the initials for everyone?
I don't know.
You should add it to your story on Instagram on Wednesday or something. And you can save it to highlights.
I'm really bad at doing stories.
You should really start doing stories and have paraphernalia. And, every time you post it in your stories, you save it to the highlights story. And it can be, a paraphernalia one or, gifts from our listeners.
Oh, okay.
And then people can go back and see them.
Oh.
So then if you were listening to this podcast, say, 6 months from now, you can go back and look.
Okay.
I know I'm brilliant.
I mean, I'll try.
I will remind you.
I'm going out of order, but I said this on Instagram, but getting Carl... the crocheted crow. Carl the crocheted crow. Picking him up was my excuse to meet the critter. So I got to meet the baby. I'm mildly obsessed with him. He loves me, I think. He didn't like any of my jokes. He cried anytime I made a sarcastic joke.
Oh, he was putting you in his place.
Yeah.
Your place.
Every time I made a little joke about him, he'd start crying and I'd have to apologize. But whatever. He's
sassy.
He's very sassy. I think he sees ghosts, obviously.
Yeah, Katie's house is haunted.
Because he just stares off at the distance. But he's very cute. And
babies always.
I love babies. Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, but you don't want one yet.
Not yet. Listen, I came home from that and I was like, let me wait until I've got a nephew that's going to be born pretty soon. So get my fill of babies. Let me wait for them to get
Be a good aunt for a little bit. And soak up that auntie life.
Listen, I'm here for giving that kid, both of those kids. Well, first of all, the critter we're going to put to work eventually. I told Katie this.
Yeah.
I was like, he's got to research some episodes or something.
That's what kids are for.
Correct my pronunciation, which, by the way, you have a big job of doing that today.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
And I expect you to know all of these words.
Oh, good. Great. Are they related to my field of specialty?
They are related to your country of origin.
Oh, it's a Canadian thing.
It's a Canadian thing.
Okay. Is there going to be a lot of A's?
No, there's going to be none of those.
Okay.
Sorry.
Out and about? Sorry?
Yep. It's going to be
House?
about some Canadian stuff, eh?
That was terrible.
That was so good. What are you talking about?
Okay,
my last announcement is a thank you to our listener Amanda because she, sneaky, surprised us and sent us a stamp in the mail because I complain, well, I don't complain, but I talk about how I have to forge Katie's signature on little cards we sent.
Oh, yeah.
She had a stamp made. It's so cute. It's on our Instagram. It's a little crow and it's holding a little piece of mail and it says... Hannah and Katie, and then it says The Tales We Tell.
Oh, that's sweet.
It was so cute, and I had to, look up the address. I was like, this return address seems familiar. because she didn't put like a note or anything with it. But it just
Did she buy it from somewhere? Does she make them?
I don't know. I need to ask her.
You should find out. Because that is awesome. Yeah. I would love to get a stamp for my address.
Yeah, that's
like my name and my new address, obviously, because yay for moving next week. But yeah, I have always wanted one, like one of those fancy ones,
like the self-inking ones, so you look like an accountant or something. Yep.
Or a notary.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
or just a fancy ass bitch.
I can get you a wax seal.
Okay.
I mean, they're
with a dog paw print.
Sure. They're a lot more work than stamps, but you know. And you can't actually mail them because then the things the letters go through messes them up. But they're cool for hand delivered stuff.
I'm in.
Maybe that'll be one of your housewarming gifts.
Yes.
In addition to, my presence in your house.
And helping me move.
And helping you pick out all your new stuff. I found your couch for you.
You did, actually. And I really like that couch.
I love that couch.
It is so comfortable. I've laid on it. And it does look really good. It's navy.
It looks like a jewel tone.
Like it's a royal navy. Yeah. Like it's sharp. And then with that yellow, like marigold yellow pillows I have, the throw pillows. Oh, it looks so good. And those are the colors of my house now. So
it works out perfectly.
It does.
And I helped you pick a mirror today.
I'm very excited about the mirror for the vanity.
I'm excited about it too. I kind of looked for mirrors myself and didn't realize how expensive mirrors are.
Yeah.
So I stopped looking.
I just really need one for above there. And I was like, you know what? This is like one of the only things I'm buying.
Well, I appreciate it because we've already talked about Jenna has in her new house. Her bathroom is enormous.
It is. It's like a whole bedroom.
It's literally big enough for furniture.
Yes. So I had a dresser redone that I turned into a vanity. And across from that, I'm putting a love seat, chaise lounge style.
Which is for me.
Which is for Hannah to hang out in. And then we're going to get ready in there. But we could live in that room.
Yeah. Well, and currently, your getting ready situation, you do have a decent bathroom upstairs, but like with good counter space, but there's only one mirror.
Yep.
And then in your bedroom, you have like
a mirror. I don't have a master.
Her place is horrible for getting ready together right now.
Currently. But I moved next week, and the new master bathroom is ginormous.
Yes.
You walk in, and the toilet's right there, and then there's 8 feet until the vanity.
Yeah.
The double vanities.
Yep.
And the walk-in shower.
Yeah.
So it's just a whole room for us to get ready in.
Really. Truly.
Yeah.
My last announcement just says, ask Jenna about Canada.
Okay.
Okay. Meaning, like, what part of Canada are you from?
Okay.
Describe it geographically, though, because I don't...
Okay, so I am from an hour east of Toronto.
Okay.
If we could drive directly north, straight, we could get there.
Okay.
However, once you cross the border in Niagara Falls, you have Lake Ontario, one of the Great Lakes,
right,
and you have to go around it.
Can't go across it?
You can't go across it. Years ago, they had a ferry, but they do not anymore, which is very unfortunate because I went to school in Niagara Falls, and I had to drive 2 hours home. If I could just cut through Lake Ontario, it'd take me like 40 minutes. It was very frustrating.
Oh.
But, so, it's like an extra 2 hours when you go around.
Oh.
But, due north, like directly north from here.
Okay, so like the eastern part.
Or
like the, I don't know.
Like, yeah. I mean, of actual Canada, it's kind of like it's south.
Okay.
And it's like almost central eastern, like not central, but a little east of that. Because you still have like Quebec and then all the maritime islands.
Oh, that's right. It kind of goes up and out. I have a very poor understanding of geography.
Well, we'll do a lesson. Maybe we should add a map of Canada.
I may do that for everyone's... I say that like other people also have the same problems as me, but...
Well, let's be real. I didn't really know the map of the United States until I moved here.
This is true.
So it's the same thing. I mean, I know where the United States is on the map. I knew that before, and I knew, like, to point it out. But, like, I didn't know... I still don't know all your states. You guys have a lot of states. It's a lot.
We do have a lot of states. To be fair, you have a lot of territories and or provinces.
13.
I don't know the difference between them, though. Is there a difference between...
Territories are northern. Provinces are along the bottom.
Oh, okay.
But we only have 13. We don't have 50.
And one of them is called, what is it?
Northwest Territories.
Well, yeah, that one. What's the one where I thought you were just saying, like...
Oh, none of that.
None of that!
Oh, it's none of it.
None of it.
With a V.
Yeah. We were playing...
You thought I was saying none of that.
Yeah, we were trying to guess. we were on Sporkle, and we were trying to get all 13 of them, and Jenna kept saying... this one's none of it. And I was like, what does that mean? None of what?
N-U-N.
It's the name of one of them.
U-V-U-T. Or there might be an A in the middle. I don't know. Something like that. Well, that territory makes me mad because it didn't become a territory until the late 90s after I'd already learned all my geography. And then they just were like, well, we're going to split Northwest Territories into 2 territories. So now we have this one and this one. I was like, this is dumb.
Also, having one that's just called Northwest Territories is confusing.
And it's plural, not singular. It's not territory. Well, territories.
We couldn't get that one.
I know, because we had to, like, spell it odd. I don't know. That
specific.
We had it right. That one, the quiz was wrong.
Oh. Right. Well, as a Canadian,
yes,
have you heard of the Wendigo?
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
This whole time, whenever I see it spelled, I want to call it a Wendigo. Because when I see it, I think of the word Winnebago.
I was just going to ask if that's what you're thinking of.
I'm almost positive it's pronounced Wendigo.
Okay.
So a Wendigo is a grotesque, cannibalistic monster that originated from First Nations folklore, specifically the Algonquin, Northern Ojibwa, and the Cree people. I
know where they are.
Okay, good. Well, all of you, the help
Algonquin National Park backs onto, like, where I grew up.
Oh, great.
My grandparents' farm backs onto Algonquin National Park. But it's very large, so it just keeps going.
I would hope it's very large.
Well, it's bigger than, like, the Croatan.
I don't honestly know how big that is.
It's not very big.
It's also confusing because, whatever. We'll
yeah.
get into that. There's going to be a couple parts to this. I'm going to talk about the Wendigo itself. And then I'm going to talk about a couple instances of the Wendigo, like, being active.
Ooh, okay. Ooh.
And to be clear, the help with pronunciation is all Native American names. So
yes, because I'm Native American.
Hope you know how to say those.
I will try my darndest.
Okay. So there are 3 different kinds of beliefs in the Wendigo. The first one is the belief that it's an actual physical monster. And in this belief, it is a pale, emaciated humanoid. Sometimes it's depicted with antlers. There's actually a horror movie that came out either this year or last year that's called Antlers. That's about the Wendigo, but like in everything I read, antlers were not a prominent part of it. So feature. I don't know.
Okay.
It smells like rotting flesh. It is preceded by a strong wind or frost. It is indifferent to pain and also indifferent to other people's pain. And although it is like a cannibal, so it craves human flesh, but human flesh can never satiate it. And I wrote those twice. Okay, those were my last points.
Insatiable,
yes. The second kind of belief in this is kind of the idea that it is a demonic spirit and that it can possess a person. So you become possessed by the Wendigo and then you become cannibalistic.
Oh.
And then the third kind, which I'm actually very interested in, is a culturally conditioned psychosis. Which is a psychiatric disorder that is specific to certain native cultures. So it's like technically a psychiatric disorder, and like it's not like only native peoples can experience it, but it's very specific to them because of like their specific circumstances. Does that make sense? So in Wendigo psychosis, which is what it's called, there's like an actual paper written about it. A person experiences an overwhelming urge to eat human flesh, and it is usually associated with times of famine during the winter. So it's like this idea that like you're starving and you just are
flesh.
Like, while I'm
cannibalism.
Eating. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, this is like one of my favorite episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Do you watch that?
I mean, I've seen it.
There's an episode where I think it's Dee and Charlie eat meat that they find in Frank's freezer.
Oh, and they think it's
he tells them that it's human meat, and so they get like the hunger, and they like go to a morgue, and they're like, "Is it weird that I want to eat that guy?" And then it turns out he's like, it was like possum meat or something, and it's like it just had worms. Like you just have worms instead.
That's better.
That's better than wanting to be a cannibal, I guess.
I should have got a straw for my drink. I'm trying to be like...
That's part of the drinking game, though. Anytime you hear ice clink, you'll have to drink.
Well, drink up, bitches.
Also, can we talk about the fact that Jenna's drinking vodka and with her mixer, because we don't have any mixers here, she's drinking a Mike's Hard Pineapple. There's always red wine here if you need
it. I'm trying not to get a hangover. I have a lot to do tomorrow. I cannot be hungover.
I mean, I have a lot to do tomorrow, too. Now, instead of just going to a wedding...
I'm hosting a fundraiser.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to a wedding. Okay. So, men from Algonquin tribes often hunted alone during the winter. And I don't know if you know this, but Canada is really far north. And there are some subarctic territories. And it gets really cold there. I didn't know if you were aware of that.
I didn't know that. So, thank you for educating me about my home country.
You're very welcome. So, during the winters, because they would hunt alone, they would basically just live with their families, and the only time they saw members of their community was, like, during the warmer seasons. And so, being isolated, plus it being winter with scarce resources, it just kind of makes sense that, like, mental illness is going to be more likely to be a problem, I guess.
I don't get why they hunt in the winter.
Well, they have to eat in the winter. They're not like...
Yeah, but usually they would hunt in the warmer seasons and then, like, dry the meat so they have it for the winter. Oh. So I really don't understand that.
I don't know.
Just saying.
I have no idea.
All right, continue.
There are stages of becoming a Wendigo or, like, becoming afflicted with a Wendigo, however you choose to look at it. So there's apathy and inactivity. Also, spoiler alert, these are also just, like, stages of becoming extremely malnourished. Like, they kind of go hand in hand.
They're kind of the same thing.
So, there's apathy and inactivity, aka you're very tired because you're very hungry. Anorexia, duh. Insomnia, panic attacks, and fear/anxiety. And here's a fun little factoid. So when you have vitamin deficiencies, like vitamin B, proteins, fats, and ascorbic acids, that can cause insomnia, panic attacks, and anxiety.
Wow.
Also, a sudden decrease in fat intake can cause headaches. And then this article said that that can lead to death within a few weeks, which doesn't seem correct, but...
Isn't it starvation after a few weeks?
Well, yeah, but, I mean, this just said a sudden decrease in fat intake, not, like, a sudden decrease in all of your food. But also, when you're living in subarctic conditions, you have to have diets that are high in fat to, like, maintain all of the energy that you're using.
Absolutely.
So, they're already eating more fats and proteins already. So then
a sudden decrease, and also the cold, your body works harder to stay warm in the cold, so you're losing more calories and energy. That makes sense. Yeah.
So basically, it sucks to live in Canada in the winter.
Not all of Canada. You're talking about, like, the Arctic parts.
Yeah, well...
The cold areas.
I already told you I don't know much about geography.
You're the one who wants to move to, like, Niagara Falls.
I know, it's true. I do want to move to Canada. It just seems so nice there. And I like cold weather. And I want a house with heat, so... You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to send you out hunting in the winters, though.
How about, let's not do that. If you send me with a bag of wine, I will drink myself into hypothermia.
You can put the bag of wine in your...
Listen, I haven't outgrown the whole thing of, like, if you're cold, like, if you're out drinking and it's cold, just drink more and it warms you up.
Alcohol is your coat. I have been saying this for years.
I did that last weekend when I was in Massachusetts.
I forgot
a coat.
I forgot my jacket tonight, and I think it's supposed to get a little chilly. Guess what? I'm just going to drink a little bit more.
You can also borrow a coat from me, or...
Usually when I borrow your coats, they don't come back because I steal them.
That's true. So
it's only happened to one, but...
Well, and I stole your belt, so...
Yeah, we're even.
That's fine.
I did replace that, though. I bought a new one.
Oh, good. Yeah, because you broke it.
Yeah, because I have really broad shoulders and a big chest. So it ripped in the front armpits.
You hulked it.
Yeah, I'm just really strong.
I honestly assumed one of your dogs had gotten it, but...
No, it was it was in the shoulders. Like, it was just because I'm so... I don't know, it was small, I guess.
It's because you're so strong.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's
I work out.
So, shamans were responsible for quote-unquote healing people who became Wendigos. So, to recover, 2 things have to happen. The first is you have to gain control over your cannibalistic impulses.
I will not eat henna. I will not eat henna. I will not eat henna.
And then the second one sounds to me like the same thing. It said the internal urges have to decrease, which I guess just means like you have to stop eating people and then you have to stop wanting to eat people.
Okay, so mental and physical.
Yeah. So
that sounds like makes sense.
So that's what you have to do to like recover from a Wendigo. But most commonly, people who became afflicted with the Wendigo were euthanized. Of the 26 known diagnosed cases, 15 of them were killed. However, some remedies included...
By who? How? Sorry.
Oh, we'll get to it, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
And that counts as jumping ahead, so you have to take a drink.
Okay. I'm really good at this drinking game.
So, some of the remedies, which, this is not shocking to me, included giving the afflicted regular meals, aka...
Let's feed you.
Feeding a person who is suffering from starvation.
Here's a pie.
But also, drinking boiling water and hot grease, which I would then argue you then have another problem called internal burns. And this was thought to counter the ice that was in the Wendigo's heart or blood.
So we're just going to cause damage to their internal organs.
Yeah. Or at least, I don't know, how far down, like if you swallow boiling water, is it scalding your like esophagus?
Yes.
How far down does it keep scalding? Like at what point does it cool off? What are you going to Google to find that?
No.
Google snow and see what comes up.
Not that dumb. What would happen if you swallow boiling water?
Okay.
It would destroy your taste buds.
Obviously.
And your digestive system.
Oh no!
Plus, you could potentially bleed internally.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
And severe burns to your mouth, throat, and stomach.
Ah!
And most likely your intestinal tract. Internal bleeding as a result of the 3rd-degree burns.
Jeez.
Whether it could be repaired is questionable. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah. Oh, and if they couldn't repair all the burns, like you'd probably need surgery. Mm-hmm. But the dead tissue, if they didn't remove all the dead tissue, then bacteria would get there, and then you'd have dead and rotting tissues from the burns inside your body. So let's not do that.
So in that case, I would say yes, put me down. Like,
yeah, I'll shoot you.
I wonder if they like tried to heal someone or like fix someone by making them drink boiling water, and then they gained all these other problems, which they attributed to the Wendigo.
I don't know. Maybe.
Don't drink boiling water.
Note to self.
Well, in the 21st century, luckily, Wendigo psychosis is treated with benzodiazepines and antipsychotics. And I didn't actually consult our pharmacist on staff because he's busy with a new baby. But, so I don't know what benzodiazepines are or do. But according to an article in the scientific journal called Current Problems in Psychiatry, it is important to administer these medications for 3 to 5 years because there's a risk of rebounding, which for a psychosis that seems to be brought on by starvation and stress, I guess, that seems like a long time to be like at risk for continuing to like be at risk for it. I don't know.
Okay, benzos are for like lowering brain activity. So like anxiety, insomnia.
Okay.
So it's an antipsychotic, but lower the brain.
So now I'm going to tell you about a person who has some experience with the Wendigo.
Ooh.
His name is Swift Runner, also known as Kaki Si Kuchin. I am going to be calling him Swift Runner for the sake of...
I would like you to turn your laptop so I can see how it's Kaki Si Kuchin.
Okay, there you Spoken like a true Canadian. Eh?
Swift running.
Swift runner.
Runner. Sorry. Got my, my endings.
It's fine. You're not from here. American isn't
my
your first language.
My suffixes.
Jenna is a speech language pathologist, by the way, so language is her literal job.
Very true. And I do have a degree in linguistics, so I did study languages.
Okay, so
I studied the formation of languages, not actually French or a specific language.
So you're not the worst person to ask how to pronounce these.
Yeah.
Okay. So Swift Runner was a member of the Cree people in Alberta. Where's Alberta?
To the west of Toronto.
Okay.
So British Columbia is on the west coast. Mm-hmm. Alberta is the next province in.
Oh, okay. So pretty close to the west side.
Yes.
Okay. Swift Runner was born probably around the 1830s or the 1840s. He was well respected among his community. He was known to be mild-mannered and trustworthy. He was also known to be a good husband and father. He had 6 children. And he was over 6 feet tall and a trapper and a guide for the Northwest Mounted Police, which is...
The Mounties.
Which they don't come off as very great in the 2 stories that I'm going to tell.
It's also the 1800s, so let's find some...
Yeah.
Let's find some officers that do come off as great.
It's also...
in any country.
It's also the stories of white people interfering with native life.
Mm-hmm.
According to a local newspaper that would later report on this story, speaking of Swift Runner, they said his contact with white men ruined him.
Ooh.
Part of this is because white settlers would smuggle whiskey to the First Nations people by disguising it as medicine. And Swift Runner liked his medicine and quickly got a habit of drinking the medicine.
Little
alcoholism. And he was eventually kicked out of his community because of this. And it also kind of ruined his relationship he had with the police. So he was kind of on his own. In the winter of 1878, Swift Runner and his family are facing the winter even more isolated from their community than they would normally be. Swift Runner struggled to find food for his family and probably also coped with this by drinking.
Yep.
And when spring finally came, Swift Runner stumbles out of the wilderness and comes to a Catholic mission. And there he tells the priest that his wife, children, mother-in-law, and brother had all died of starvation during the winter. So the priest offers him food and shelter, but becomes suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
But in this case, do be suspicious.
Okay. Do be suspicious. Do be suspicious.
So I'm going to add a new drinking game while you're here of when we break out into song.
Which does happen.
Which is happening naturally. A lot. So
that is a new rule, guys. So drink up.
Yeah, go ahead and drink. You also have to drink for the karaoke parts at the beginning. Important.
I'm just trying to get everyone drunk. That's why I'm guest starring.
I have made a dent on this wine, which is surprising.
I mean, I'm trying not to finish my drink because the vodka's in the freezer.
And because we don't have any more mixers free. We have the ones.
A little bit.
Which means you're drinking a lot of vodka with it.
That's okay.
That's fine. Okay, so the first reason that this priest was suspicious of this large 6-foot-something man who said his whole family starved to death is because he did not look like he had been starving. He very much looked pretty healthy and nourished. The priest also knew that other Cree people had been successful at finding food during the winter. He's like, I know other natives who have not had trouble finding stuff.
He's also an alcoholic.
This is true. And
not a functioning one, though, clearly.
Clearly. And then the last thing is Swift Runner, while he was staying at this mission, was having nightmares where he would wake up screaming every night.
Insomnia.
And so the priest was like, something seems wrong. And then one day, according to literally only one source I saw, Swift Runner offered or tried to lead a group of children into the woods. And the priest was like, no, no, no. Why don't we all come back? And
that's suspicious.
Also, I'm going to call the police now.
Okay, but your first point that the priest is suspicious about him being of a good weight, that doesn't coordinate with that diagnosis.
Well, so the police come, and I guess they were just like, suspicion is enough to arrest you. So they arrest Swiftrunner, and they're like, we need you to show us, like, where all this happened. Like, you said this, basically your whole family died. Show us where. So some sources say that at first Swiftrunner intentionally misled the police, and it was only after he had several drinks that he was able to take them to his campsite. And another source says that he actually turned himself into the police and claimed that his wife had committed suicide, and then the rest of the family had starved to death. Either way, his family's dead, and eventually they get to his campsite. So first, he brings them to a small grave site where he said one of his sons had been buried. And they exhume the body, and they're like, okay, this checks out. This body is undisturbed.
Good.
And then they go to the rest of the campsite, and there are bones everywhere. They're human bones. Some of them had been broken open, and all of the marrow had been sucked out. One of the skulls, which turned out to be his mother-in-law's, had an unfinished moccasin inside of it. And it had, like, the needle that had, like, the beading. Like, it was still just, like, it was like she just put it aside one day, and now it was in her skull. And then they also found a pot of human fat. So not looking great.
I mean, the bones, though, you could say, like, an animal stumbled upon.
But broke them open and sucked all the marrow out of them?
Yeah, what do animals do? Like polar bears and moose.
Are there polar bears in Canada?
Is that a real question?
Yes! Are there polar bears in Canada?
Yes.
Really?
In the North, Arctic, and yeah. But there's like, not just polar bears though, like we have a lot of bears, like black bears, and there's a lot of different types of bears. And yes, a bear, if
they break open bones?
Well, if they stumbled upon like rotting bodies, carcasses, anything, they're going to eat it. And think about what a dog does to a bone. They chew on it. They want the marrow. Wild animals are going to do that too.
My only interaction with a bear is the bear who stole our Thanksgiving turkey 2 years ago.
And what do you think I did with that?
He left the giblets in the woods because we went and got him and made gravy out of them. The bear giblets. It's not our proudest moment, but we were out of options.
Fair. But no, there's a lot of wild animals, so that part. But
okay.
The fat in the pot and the whole moccasin in the head.
That's a little, okay. So.
Yeah. At first I was like, okay, he's not guilty. No.
Yeah. So.
I don't think a bear's going to pour the fat into a pot. Did they test it to make sure it was human fat, though?
I guess. Oh, I have a picture. Sorry. I forgot about these things. Hold on.
I would like some visuals.
Sorry, this is the first picture that came. I'm gonna put antlers on this and say this is a Wendigo.
For everyone listening to her laugh, it's just Scooby with a Snapchat filter, and he looks like the creepy dog from the Alien movie, Men in Black.
I'm putting antlers on him. That's what
Scooby.
That's what got me started. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry, everyone. That's a picture of everything they collected. So some skulls, some bones.
Okay, all right.
I don't think it wasn't set up like that when they found it.
No, they collected it and took a picture.
Whew. So,
okay. Are there more pictures?
There's a picture of Swiftrunner if you scroll.
I got this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a better picture than the one you showed me.
Sorry. I had to save multiples. Well, so the police are like, this seems suspicious.
What is he holding in the picture of him?
I think that's like a shackle that is... it's got to be something that's holding his feet together. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. The police are like, hey, what happened? And so Swiftrunner is like, let me tell you. And...
just like that, too.
Quick not trigger warning, but like content warning. Just this one part gets a little bit graphic. So Swiftrunner said that during the winter he had started having nightmares And in these nightmares, the Wendigo spirit was visiting him. And it was telling him to murder his family and eat them. And he resisted as long as he could, but gradually the Wendigo took over him.
Because he was hungry.
So first he killed and ate his wife. Then he forced one of his sons to kill one of the other sons. Then he took his infant son and hung him by the neck. And then, just to make sure that that was effective, he, pulled down on the feet to make sure that...
His neck was broken.
Yes. Presumably, he ate all of these...
Well, which son was buried?
I don't know. One of the sons he didn't eat, I guess.
I'm wondering if it's the youngest that he...
Well, they didn't say it was a baby that they found.
No, they just said a son.
I don't know. Although, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to eat the baby.
Right? There's not a lot of meat on there. There's not a lot of fat.
I feel like I should drink for that comment.
I think
that was
so
bad.
Too. We're justifying which child to bury and not eat.
Oops.
Maybe we're developing this.
We're developing the Wendigo. It's because Scooby's won.
Oh, dang it.
That's why he was just
Scooby's infecting us. Poor Scoober.
Oh, gosh. I know. He didn't do anything wrong. Except have that face.
Well, it's not even his real face. It's your fault for putting that filter on him.
It's so funny, though. Swift Runner admitted that he had killed his mother-in-law and said that she had been, quote, a bit tough. I assume
she's probably old.
I thought he meant, a bit tough to kill, but
I think
also maybe he means, kind of tough meat. Yeah.
Wrinkles.
Ew. Yeah, why? That maybe would be the one that I wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
The younger ones would probably taste better. I'm sorry, everyone.
I'm not taking a drink for that because I didn't say it.
To be fair, though, anytime I...
To be fair. It's a Canadian reference. Never mind.
Okay, we'll take a drink because you just sang.
All my Canadian lovers will like that one. It's a Letterkenny reference.
Of course it is. To be fair, anytime that I am, researching something and you're around and I'm like, oh, this might be too bad. This might be too gory. You're like, no, that's what people want to hear.
I think it's true. I encourage it.
This is true.
As a listener.
This is true. Okay, so there was also evidence that he had killed his brother and presumably the other children. And I guess ate all of them. It's not super clear.
All except for one.
Except for the one that...
The golden child.
Was his favorite, I guess. Maybe he buried them, to keep them... Well, that wouldn't keep them fresh. You'd keep them out in the cold.
Rot.
Yeah. Okay. So, the police are like, oop, you have to be arrested now, for real. So, they take him back to Fort Saskatchewan, which is where?
The province next to Alberta.
Oh,
so we're going central.
Okay, good. And he is tried for the murders on August 8th, 1879. The jury included 3 English-speaking Cree, mixed-race Cree white, mixed-race people who spoke Cree fluently. 4 men who were, quote, well up in the Cree language. There was also a Cree man present who was there to translate the whole trial, and also a Cree English scholar who was there to make sure Swift Runner understood, not just, was translating, but was this is what's happening. What's happening.
Okay.
Swift Runner maintained that the Wendigo had killed his family, but he also didn't try to deny his, guilt and
participation.
He was like, a Wendigo overtook me, and I became a Wendigo, and then I killed my family.
So I did it, but
I was a Wendigo when it
crazy.
happened. Witnesses testified that his family had been perfectly healthy when they went into the woods, and the jury deliberated for only 20 minutes before they found him guilty and sentenced him to death.
Fair.
Fun fact, the Canadian Northwest Territories had never legally executed anyone at this point. They had, executed someone for killing someone, but it wasn't, through a court of law.
I'm sorry, I'm confused because the trial happened in Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm. Fort Saskatchewan.
Okay, that's in Saskatchewan.
Sure,
that's a province. Why are we now going up to the Northwest Territories?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe he was arrested. Maybe he was taken to... Well, I don't know.
He was arrested in Alberta.
But he... you know what? I don't know. He was...
I think Jarek should fact check these.
If he was on mic.
I was just kidding.
He should.
Come on, Jarek.
Oh, man.
Can we phone a friend?
Yeah, it's you. It's the Canadian.
Let me just call my mom real quick. Hey, Mom. Well, actually, my grandpa would actually be a really good one to call.
There you go.
But he would talk for like an hour.
Special guest. It's fine, huh?
Ah, it's Grandpa. He would love that. You should do a virtual one with him.
I love that.
You should have him tell the story.
Oh, gosh. Does he know the story, you think?
Oh, not this story.
Oh.
I just mean any, like...
Oh, just any Canadian story.
No, not even Canadian. He just loves history and, like, things. But I'll check with him, and we can add a little...
Okay.
We can get an announcement in your next episode.
Yeah, there we go. So...
Remind me. Because the vodka's starting to hit.
Well, I'm almost done with the glass of wine. That was 2 glasses.
The double?
Yeah. Okay, so wherever they were in Canada, they had not legally executed anyone. Okay. So they had to build gallows, like, specifically for this. They were like, oh, we don't have an executioner. So they called him an army pensioner, which I think just means a retired, like, person from the army.
Retired army man.
They paid him $50.
Hey, in the 1870s.
Well, okay, I'm not going to have you guess how much that is. How much would it cost if someone was like, we need someone to be the executioner? Jenna, it's you. Name your price. How much would it... What's the minimum you would require to be the person that, like, pulls the trapdoor?
Well, I would need to cover my mortgage. $300,000, ma'am.
Well, that is much more than what this guy
Yeah, I'm
took
an
for
expensive
it.
executioner.
Okay. This $50 was about $1,400 to pull the lever.
I'm just trying to think if that's worth it.
I know,
and whether I would do that.
Well, I don't know if it was like
$1,400. I mean, that's like more than a lot of people make in a week.
Well, and what if it was like, here's Ted.
That's like how much people make in like some people make in a month.
That's yeah,
and it's gonna be like a 20-minute or like
Well, and like imagine if it was like Ted Bundy and they were like, we just need someone to pull the to throw the switch.
I would do it.
I would do it for for someone like him.
Yeah.
If I was convinced that this person murdered and ate his whole family.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I probably would do it, especially in the almost 1880.
Also, we wouldn't have jobs back then. We wouldn't be allowed to have jobs.
No, we would just be burying our children and milking cows and let's be real. I would have a job because I would be like Dr. Quinn medicine woman. And God, I'd be like, I am the first woman doctor. Like, let's be real.
And I would be a witch, probably.
Like, we'd be best friends. Like, right now.
Oh my gosh, I could be the witch that supplies your, like, medicines.
Perfect. Well, you could be like Dr. Quinn, how she goes to the Native Americans for all the, like, natural medicine.
There you go.
I started rewatching that show, by the way.
I remember you telling me that.
It's on Amazon
Is
Prime
it really?
For free with ads. And the reason I started watching it is because my mom sent me a 3-minute video. And all of the original cast did this 3-minute...
I think I watched that.
Meme thing about Dr. Quinn Morphine Woman.
Yes!
And it's like a Netflix reboot, and it's not actually, but Netflix is the one who paid to do this funny, but it's like a meme.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how they, like, well, Dr. Quinn only gave them morphine, so now they're addicted, and they're all drug addicts. And I was like, oh, this is funny. But honestly, I used to watch Dr. Quinn when I was like, I mean, it came out when I was little.
Is it a Canadian show?
No.
Oh, okay.
It happens in Colorado.
I don't know where it happens.
Colorado Springs,
okay.
Ma'am. And she was originally in Boston, and then she comes after her daddy dies.
She comes after her dad.
Well, she comes to Colorado Springs.
She comes after her daddy dies?
I was using their language. That's how they talk in the show.
Okay. You just used the word comes and daddy in the same sentence.
Oh, daddy. Oh, daddy. Make me come. Oh, daddy.
Stop it. My parents listen to this show.
That's...
Take a drink for that.
You invited me on here and you know how highly inappropriate I am. So I don't know why you're embarrassed.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say, I'm so glad I didn't pick a super, like, serious one. And then this man killed like 8 people, but
I've just came up with a game plan for the one that I tell you, like when I write it, because I already have my topic, but I'm gonna get Hannah, not you,
the other one,
yeah. So I'm gonna get Cox to give me a list of words that I have to try and make you say while I'm doing that.
Ooh,
isn't that good?
Idea. Okay,
and they're gonna be like dirty but not dirty words, like daddy. And, like, comes. And, by the way, I was meaning COMES.
Okay. Sure you were. Okay. So, this execution that they've never done is happening for $1,400, a bargain. It's supposed to happen December 20th, 1879 at 7:30 in the morning. And Swift Runner was offered to spend his final night with the priest.
Okay, I'm sorry. I would charge $500 more because 7:30 in the morning is a little too early for me.
Well, just wait, because this guy is not even like, he's not even doing the bare minimum. So they're like, do you want to spend your last night with the priest? He says, no. Quote, the white man has ruined me. I don't think their God could amount to much. Which, fair.
Honestly, they don't have the same religion, so I don't know why he would say yes to the priest, so I get that.
But also, is he saying the white man has ruined me because the white man brought alcohol? Is he blaming his alcoholism and then his cannibalism on that?
Yes.
I would say that's a little unfair, but, I mean, don't spend, whatever, if you don't,
Yeah.
Fair in your...
He's about to die, so...
Fair in your choice, but, maybe don't blame the murder of your whole family on something else.
Yeah.
Blame white men for a lot of things.
True.
This, surprisingly, is not one of them.
True.
So, the day of the execution, so it's December 20th. What's the weather like in Canada, you think, on December 20th?
Where are we?
I don't know.
Saskatchewan?
Sure.
Because that's where the trial was. In September, it's like a brisk fall day.
December.
It's
December 20th.
Oh, 100% there's snow. I think it's September.
No.
There's 100% snow. It's fucking cold.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's snowing a lot, and the sheriff was late because of the snow. And
naturally.
So it's 7 a.m., right? 30 minutes before this is supposed to happen. There's 60 people who have gathered because they've never executed anyone. And at 7 a.m., the sheriff realizes that the crowd of people have taken the trapdoor from the gallows and used it for kindling for a fire. So,
perfect.
So now we just have a platform with a hole in it.
So yeah, we're just going to put the noose around his neck and push him.
And then the executioner shows up, and he forgot to bring rope to bind the hands.
Oh, good.
He did not realize that was part of his job.
Hey, this is their first time.
First time, true. But, I wouldn't think as executioner that I would need to bring those tools, but...
Yeah.
You know.
All you paid me for is to pull the lever.
It's true.
Which all I keep thinking of when we keep saying that.
Too.
Pull the lever! Wrong lever! That's all I keep thinking.
Oh my gosh.
Name that movie, friends.
Oh, man. I'll send you a sticker if you can name that movie first.
Ooh.
Actually, first isn't really fair, right? Just name the movie. Just, DM me or put it in Facebook or Instagram comments or something. I'll send you a sticker. So, they're, rushing around to fix everything, to find some rope, to find something to use as a trapdoor. And Swift Runner is just sitting by the fire. He's, very chill. He's, joking with people who are hanging out with him. He's literally sitting there with the noose around his neck. Very chill. That was a dog trying to get in.
Yeah, no, it was actually the Winnebago.
The Winnebago?
I know. Scooby's coming for us.
Oh, gosh.
He's coming.
Don't say that. I have to be up late with him in the house. He is scary at night.
You have lived with him for a year and a half. I think he'll be fine.
He doesn't know what he's looking at. Okay, so Swift Runner jokes that he could kill himself with a tomahawk if they wanted, to save them trouble. He's like, I can do this myself if you guys want. But 2 hours later, they finally fix everything.
That sounds more appropriate, a 9:30 execution.
You're like, let's push this to 9:30. Yeah. It's fine.
In case you didn't know, I'm not a morning person at all.
So they finally take him up to the gallows. They put a black hood over his head, and they pull the lever. And trapdoor goes, he drops 5 feet, and he dies immediately.
Yeah, they broke his neck, and he died.
So, the second Wendigo related thing to tell you about is about, because that's the end of Swiftrunners' story.
Yeah, he died.
He dies for killing his family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Naturally. So, no, I thought his spirit came back and haunted everyone.
As a Wendigo, perhaps.
Actually, his spirit is in Scooby now, and that's why he's here.
You guys are going to look at that picture of Scooby, and you're going to agree with me. I'm going to edit it to make it look extra creepy.
Scooper. You're going to have to post a nice picture of him, preferably the one for my birthday where he and I post.
Oh.
With little bow ties.
Yeah. I think Scooby has something wrong with his eyes, though, for real. Like, his iris is slightly misshapen, and I need to ask my doctor boss about it.
He's
next
probably
week.
Just high all the time. He's a pothead. Scooby's actually from Canada. Honestly. Where weed is legal, so he is just a pothead.
Poor guy. I'm working with a new...
That actually would make sense. Oh, duh.
Gosh, Scooby. So, this next person... all right. Full disclosure, I'm going to be calling him Jack Fiddler, because that is the name that I am able to pronounce in the state that I am in. I just want to acknowledge, I understand Jack Fiddler is the name that the white people gave him, but it's just going to be easier for all of us unless, like, I'm not going to get through the story if I have to try to say his real name. Which is Jawuno Gijigo Gabao, which means he who stands in the southern sky. I will show it to you. It is that one right there.
He who stands in the southern sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I just translated that real quick.
I think it did pretty good. Jawuno Gijigo Gabao.
In what language does Z make the sound?
When it's a ZH.
You sound like you're saying J.
Isn't that what ZH sounds like? J. How do you spell the sound J?
To me, I mean, there's a international phonetic alphabet, okay, and we have an actual symbol for that. And it's D3. So, and the 3 is like lowered.
Well, in Russian, that's how they phonetically...
Well, we're not speaking Russian.
I know, but that's the only way I know how to say it. So what would you say? Zawuno?
Yeah, I think that would be more it.
Zawuno Gazigo Gabao.
Because also that looked more like it...
I feel like I'm putting an accent on it.
Native American languages are more representative of like African languages, and so to me, you wouldn't go Russian at all.
Yeah, probably.
So that's why I don't think it would be a zh. It's a z. It's like a harsh.
Well, they should have spelled it differently. I mean, like when they translated it to English, they should have spelled it differently.
English is a terrible language to learn, and
agree.
It makes no sense. There's no rhyme or reason, and it's actually like just a pain in the ass.
It is.
Yeah, so I feel sorry for people learning it.
Well, I'm about to give you a tiny history lesson. Not about English.
Ah.
It's about the Anishinaabe people.
All right.
So they were in the northwestern part of Ontario. Which, have we covered Ontario yet?
Toronto's in Ontario. That's where
okay.
I'm from.
Oh, okay. Great. So,
but Northwestern would be closer to... So, Ontario goes very far north. Mm-hmm. Basically, like, the provinces stop at one point, and there's islands. Ontario goes straight up into those islands.
Oh, okay.
So, it goes very far north. And what the northwest side would be, like, really close to Nunavut.
Oh, Nunavut! My favorite place.
I know. Hey, in 3rd grade, I did a whole project on Nunavut.
I did a whole project on Bertie County.
And it was only a year old at the time, so there wasn't a lot of information. It was super annoying.
Did you have to make one of those?
I had to make a Bristol board.
What's a Bristol board?
Like the big cardboard things. Like a 3x3 board.
Like a cardstock board? You call those Bristol boards?
Yeah, because cardstock's a type of paper.
What, foam board?
No, it wasn't foam. It was like thick paper. It was like a Bristol board. That's what we call it in Canada.
Okay. This is one of the fun things about being friends with Jenna, is I learn that she calls certain things just other things.
Well, to me, cardstock is just the type of paper.
I would think foam board, though. That's what I'm picturing.
Okay, but foam board is like a different material, and
it's like thinking like
trifolds.
Like cardboard, like boxes are made of, but trifold?
No, it's not a trifold. It's literally...
You just said a trifold.
No, I'm saying it's not a I'm saying Foam board would be a trifold.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at Bristol board real quick.
Trifold.
Show me pictures. Okay. All right. I kind of know what you're talking about, I guess.
Well, okay, so to me, cardstock is the type of material it's made of, but Bristol board is like...
So just like, it's like a heavy cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but Bristol board specifically is like, it's a 3x3 form. You would make all your presentations on it. It was way before we had like PowerPoint presentations. And you would, you would type things up, print them, and then cut it out and make it all pretty and have pictures. And you had to do a whole presentation.
That's what I did, but we did one on the counties of North Carolina.
Oh, see, we had to do the provinces and territories.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So the Anishinaabe people. So they base their familial system on a patrilineal clan or totem. And the clans are more or less named after animals. And then each clan has a different function within the community. And this is unrelated to everything, but I'm going to tell you what they are. And it's literally for 1 point, and we're just going to get there.
Okay.
Okay, so there is the Bima Wadasi group. They are in charge of scouting, hunting, and gathering. And the subgroups of those are the hooves. And beneath the hooves, there are the moose, caribou, deer, elk, etc. And then there's the Little Paws group, which are the beaver, the muskrat, the porcupine, the fox, etc.
All the cute ones.
Anything with little paws.
I like those ones.
I know. There's the Nook group, or the Nook group.
Nook.
Nook. Nooke.
It's Nook.
Okay.
I just know because we're talking about, like...
Canadian stuff.
Algonquin. Like, it's Nook.
So they're in charge of defense and healing. They have the bear subgroup. And underneath that, there's... This one's kind of weird.
Okay.
Bear skull. Tenderfoot. Bear liver.
Tenderfoot. Do you think they're on the dating app? Bad joke.
Bad joke. There's a bear liver, blood, and then grizzly bear and white black bear. Which I don't know what a white black bear is. A polar bear? An albino black bear.
I'm just teasing. I don't know what that is.
Okay. Also,
you act like I see bears all the time. No. Like, I've never seen a bear where I lived in Canada.
I've seen a bear. I've seen a bear once while living down here.
Oh no, this motherfucker is white.
Oh, a white black bear?
Yeah. Literally an albino.
Oh my gosh!
It's literally like albino.
They're so cute.
They are cute.
Aww. Oh, baby.
I think we have to include this in the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's going to be so many pictures on this one.
Well, you can have up to 10. Oh, you should do this picture.
Look at his little floppy ear.
He's so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think I could have one?
Would Stella get along with it?
Yeah. I mean, if it was a male.
Okay, then yeah. If Stella gets along with him, then yeah.
Yeah.
It's your only criteria for any kind of animal. Does your one dog get along with it?
She's such a bitch.
She is a bitch. It's fine, though.
But she is the queen, and she was there first.
It means that Kelly's going to be a bitch in, like, 4 years. 3 years. 2 years.
I was going to say, shorten that length of time. Kelly was a baby. Now she's growing into her bitchiness.
Oh, I was like, who texted me? It's you.
Me. I sent you the picture of the white black bear. What a creative name for this damn bear. A white black bear.
A white black bear.
It's like a black bear, but it's white.
But it's white.
Whoa, we should call it a white black bear.
Is that the real name of it? A white black bear?
I have no idea. You said it.
That's what they called it.
This is what I Googled, and that's what came up.
Okay, I'm just...
Oh, they call it a spirit bear.
Oh, that's
it's very rare.
Much better name.
It's very rare. Oh, it's a Kermode bear.
Okay.
And it's a subspecies of a black bear.
No. Are they native to Canada?
Yeah, British Columbia.
Nice. Okay, so another group is called the Gishkiziguan group. One right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
They're in charge of teaching and healing. Their subgroups are the fish, which includes the bullhead, the catfish, the sturgeon, the pike, the sucker, etc. And the sucker is the group that the Jack is part of. So I'm telling you all this. They also, other subgroups are the snapping turtle, the snake, the frog, the otter, the crab, and the merman. Literally the whole reason I wanted to tell you all of these things
was just so you could say merman.
To let you know that one of the clans is called the merman.
Okay, get back to the story.
Okay, just for the sake of fairness, there's also the Baswanazi group and the Bimangik group. The first one is in charge of outgoing internal communications. Their subgroup is the Thunderbird. And then the other one is in charge of internal or domestic communications. And their subgroup is the regular bird. They don't call it the regular bird. They just say the bird. And it's just like pelicans, crows, pigeons, regular stuff. Okay. So, Jack's father, whose name was Pamichikog, which means porcupine standing sideways.
I don't like porcupines.
Really?
Have you ever seen a dog who's been sprayed by porcupines?
Have you just seen a porcupine on its own?
Yeah, and then it's going to shoot me with quills. No, thank you.
Okay, well, whatever.
Have you ever encountered a real-life porcupine?
In an enclosure.
Yeah, not fun.
I have a quill from a porcupine on my desk out there.
Cool. Do you want, 500 of those
in
your body or in your dog's face?
Right. Well, then don't mess with them. Whatever.
Anyways. I'm going to find that photo of my aunt's dog who got...
No, I watched Homeward Bound. I don't need to see it.
Oh, there's it's worse.
I don't. Okay. Whatever. His father had been adopted into the clan many, many years ago, and he had become a chief shaman or a chief/shaman of the Sucker clan. He was also a respected political and spiritual leader. Jack was born around the 1830s or the 1840s, which was the same time Swiftrunner was born, just so we're in the same time.
Timeline. Hey, look.
Nice.
I did it better than Jarek.
It's because Jarek clinked the ice 8 times before
and then
he
kept
poured
hitting
anything.
the mic. I just wanted to show off my pouring skills really quick. That. And I'm on a refill.
Okay, so Swiftrunner, sorry, off of him.
Jack
is born. And at this time, the animal population in Northern Ontario had been pretty depleted because of over-trapping for the fur trade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because the Hudson Bay Company was right there.
Take a drink, because the next thing I'm going to say
no way!
is the Hudson Bay Company was forced to leave the area,
yes!
which forced the Sucker people to also, move around. Because that was, their main source of resources. Mm-hmm. So by the 1860s, Jack had become...
Fun fact, though, the Hudson Bay Company was actually a store.
Really?
For years. I am pretty sure they were in the mall. You know when you go to a mall and the big department stores are in the ends?
Yeah.
The Hudson Bay Company was one of the department stores
in
our local mall until I think I was in 12th grade or 1st or 2nd year of university when they finally closed.
It was like a JCPenney?
Yeah, but bigger.
Oh my gosh.
And honestly, I don't know if they just shut down or if just that one closed, and because they were huge and have been for hundreds of years.
Did they just sell furs? Because that'd be funny.
No.
I mean, not funny. I don't support the fur industry.
You could get everything. It was a department store. You could get everything. I'm going to look up and see if it's still open.
Okay. So by the 1860s, Jack had become an established leader in his clan, and he was also a shaman like his father. Also, his brother was a shaman, and I don't know why his brother's not more part of the story, but we'll get to that. Jack was well known among the Hudson Bay Company for his ability to build and fix instruments, and they, I believe, were the ones who gave him the name Jack Fiddler. And subsequently, because white people were just you represent this entire tribe, regardless of what you called it before, they would just kind of call the whole tribe the Fiddler tribe, because they were we know this one person.
Okay, so I looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's also on Saks Fifth Avenue.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah. In 2016, an American businessman bought it for $1.1 billion.
Donald Trump.
No, it's Jerry
Zuckerberg.
No, just Zucker. And it was founded in 1670.
Dang. 1670.
In the United Kingdom, and then came over to the fur trade. So, I can remember going. And it says that the headquarters are still in Toronto.
Oh, look at that.
So there you go. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
My Nana loved that place. All of our gifts were from there.
I love hearing about, like, department stores that I've never heard. Like, because, like, you grow up somewhere and you're like, yeah, you'll go to, like, Penny's or Dillard's or whatever.
Never had a Penny's, never had a Dillard, like, Sears. We had Sears, which I know is, like, American, too. Mm-hmm. Zellers was a Canadian one.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, that one went out of business when I was in high school.
There's
and then
one...
Hudson Bay Company.
There's one from New York, maybe not from New York, but from, like, up north that Jarek... He would get, like, gift cards every year, like, from, like, grandparents. And I was like, what is it? It's like a J.C. Penney's, but, like, up north. And I'd never heard of it.
But you can't tell me what it is.
I can't think of it, because we went in there once. We went in there on Black Friday one year. It starts with a B. Birkenstocks. Not Birkenstocks.
Belks?
No, it's not Belks. Hold on.
Bollocks?
Boscov's. That's what it is.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. There's only 50 stores. What about Bob's store? There's only 24 of them.
The Emporium.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Tangents. Okay, so...
Canadian history tangents.
There we go.
You asked me about Canada. I am giving you tidbits throughout the podcast.
Okay, so Jack is, like, well-known among the white people. He's also well-known among his own people for his ability to conjure animals and protect people from spells, because he's a shaman. Specifically, he could allegedly defeat the Wendigo. He claimed to have defeated 14 of them in his life. Some of the Wendigos were, like, sent by enemy shamans, like, against people.
Okay.
But then some of them were people who had turned Wendigo.
They were sent. That's so evil.
I know, right? I'm like, what? Why do you have a rival shaman?
Enemy. I'm gonna send one to you.
Also, like, you think of a shaman, like...
Wendigo's coming.
Like... Fucking rival shamans in the area sending Wendigos.
I mean...
So, in the cases of people who had, like, turned Wendigo, usually family members would approach the shamans and ask them to, like, euthanize their sick family member.
Oh.
And again, like, if you think of the Wendigo as, like, an affliction that comes when you're, like, basically starving to death, if you're suffering, like, I can see how the family would be like, please put this person out of their misery before they, like, go insane.
Well, and before they hurt others.
Yeah. Sometimes the sick people themselves would, like, come to the shamans and say,
I'm sick, help me.
Please put me out of my misery before I turn. And one of Jack's brothers had actually turned Wendigo and had to be, like, put down. Euthanized.
Executed?
Yeah. I'm trying to say it, like, nice
it's
way.
Executed.
Yeah.
Every time you say euthanize, I think of animals, so...
Well, and, like, I feel like that's how they thought of it. It was, like, humanely putting someone down. Like, putting someone out of their misery. Like, they weren't, like, torturing them.
No.
In early 1907, 2 members of the Northwest Mounted Police... Mounties.
Royal Mounties.
Were seeking to introduce Canadian law, a.k.a. white law, to the North, a.k.a. the native peoples.
So they galloped on their horses up there and said, here's our new law.
Basically. So they go up north. They hear about Jack and his brother Joseph, who was also, I guess, also a shaman, and about how they had this power against the Wendigo. And unfortunately, someone, like, detailed to the mounted police, like, how Jack was defeating the Wendigo. And so the mounted police were like, we're gonna arrest you. So they arrest Jack and his brother Joseph, and they take an eyewitness with them. Also, while they were there, they were like, by the way, everyone here who has more than one wife, you have to give up all of your extra wives. And, like, for context, Jack had 5.
There's not enough women right now. There's only white men, not white women. You have to give up your multiple wives so that we can each have one.
Yeah.
That's really why.
Well, and for context, so Jack had 5 wives and 13 kids. And
only 13 with 5 wives?
I know, right? Like, that's...
Man.
I mean, that's two
that's
apiece.
Not a lot
plus
for
3
back
extra.
then.
Yeah. But the reason that polygamy was really common was basically, like, due to necessity. It was, like...
Men kept dying.
Yeah, men kept dying. So it was like,
yeah.
Just marry a bunch of women and have as many kids as possible because I might die next winter. So the mounted police were like, give up all your wives. We're going to take these 2 shamans who are helping you, and we're also going to take this one person who's an eyewitness. Jack, it should be noted, was in his late 80s at the time, which for 1907, that's like basically 200 years old. That's
pretty old for that time.
So they take Jack and Joseph. I don't know where they take them, but they're both charged with the murder of, I guess they had to find like one specific murder. So they charged them with the murder of one of Joseph's daughters, whose name was Wasapique, and because they had killed her after she had turned Wendigo. Canadian newspapers picked up the story. They obviously sensationalized it. They talked about murder and devil worship, which is everyone's favorite thing. And people across the country were demanding convictions, and the police kind of seized on the opportunity as like a way to make themselves look like these saviors.
Yeah, naturally.
On September 30th, Jack, I have no idea how this happened, escaped from police custody while out for a walk. Like, I guess I don't know who was with him, but he was going for a walk.
A spry 80-year-old.
He got away. Yeah, I know. I'm like, who lets the person in their late 80s get away from them? But they did. So Jack gets away, and later that day, he was found, and he had hung himself. Which,
fair.
I'm like, if you think your only prospects are being tried in this, like, court of law that is not at all close to what you believe, like, it's like if someone from...
I would just keep running.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're 87, maybe you can't.
Steal a horse. You got away from the Mountie. You might as well just steal a horse.
This is true.
This is why we can't let men run the world.
I know.
Who run the world?
Girls. Take a drink. You just sang.
I know.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, runs the world.
And gets everyone addicted to morphine.
So, unfortunately, Joseph had to go to trial alone. And their eyewitness was like... So their eyewitness, the eyewitness that the police took that probably was supposed to be testifying for the prosecution, testified that Wasapique had been extremely ill and had been suffering when Jack and Joseph had killed her. They explained that it was done according to their customs and traditions. Like, they had, like, a whole, it wasn't just, like, cold-blooded murder.
Kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also testified that it was common for Jack and or Joseph to be asked to, like, humanely kill a very sick person. And they explained their belief in the Wendigo and how it attacked people. And despite all of that, Joseph was found guilty.
Of course.
Sentenced to death.
Naturally.
His conviction was eventually appealed and overturned, but that decision came 5 days after his execution. And the arrest and prosecution of Jack and Joseph Fiddler marked the beginning of Canadian law imposing itself on the sucker people. And I'm not going to tell you how that ended for the sucker people or any of the native peoples. Not good. It didn't end well.
I'm pretty sure I already know.
The end of it. So technically, this was a story that was not a bad story about Canadians, but like original Canadians, probably not your people Canadians. Unless you're native, and I didn't know that.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm learning new things about you every day. Like how you say Bristol board instead of I don't know what else it would be called.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I'm really glad that you summed up that story because I have to pee. So
I have to pee too.
My legs have been going, and I'm like, I'm ready.
Listen, I wanted to make up for the fact that we had a 30-minute episode last week, and so I
so
made this one 3 times as long.
You're welcome, my friends. Please enjoy all the singing.
New drinking rules.
Yes.
I
hope we got you drunk, because that is my goal.
I'm going to have to listen to this to remember all the pictures I have to post. And
I sent you one of them.
You sent me one, but there's like 16 that we mentioned.
I did not. I mentioned 16. It was like 5 plus the 3 you had. It's 8 total. You have half of them. The other one is Scooby. And so then there's just like 2 more.
I feel like, but I don't remember what they are.
Well, one is a nice picture of Scooby and me with bow ties.
Right.
See? I just don't know what the last one is.
Well, Jarek...
And honestly, pea brain is getting to me, so like...
Okay, well, Jarek, please make a note whenever we say what pictures to post, and then that'll save me time. Anyway.
Yeah, fact checker.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. DK, who's going to be here next week. It might be Jenna.
You never know.
We're really up in the air with all of this. We'll see you guys next week. Okay.
Just kidding. We're not leaving.
Very quickly. Forgot to tell everyone our socials. Do you know them?
I'm going to try again. The website is thetaleswetellpodcast.com.
Yes, correct.
Facebook is just the Tales We Tell Podcast.
Yes.
The Patreon is you have to go on to patreon.com and then search The Tales We Tell.
Podcast, I think.
Okay, podcast. Drink up.
Yeah.
And then Instagram is The Tales We Tell
Podcast.
There is podcast on
it?
Okay, well, I was close.
I'm pretty sure everything is...
I got 50%. That's pretty good.
I'm pretty sure everything is The Tales We Tell Podcast. If you just search that...
I really thought some of them were...
We don't have a... Yeah, like, anywhere you want to find us, just search The Tales We Tell Podcast. We don't have a Twitter, because I'm too old for that. And Redbubble. Someone bought something on Redbubble.
Great.
I'm thrilled. Anyways.
What did they get?
A hat. A dad hat. It's called a dad hat. I love it.
I like it. I hope he's a dad. Or she. I hope they're a dad.
Maybe. Who knows? I have no idea who bought it. Okay. All right, that's it.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.